Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Patek Philippe 5496P Perpetual Calendar Chronograph. You can see this Perpetual Calendar retrograde in platinum on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner to see our full listing for this watch, with additional accessories included, high-resolution images, and naturally complete pricing details. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, we're looking at a 2014 evolution of a watch that originally bowed at Basel World 2011. The watch is the largest in the series of Perpetual Calendar retrogrades from Patek Philippe, not including grand complications naturally, but the watch has immense wrist presence without being overbearing in size. Now, I say it's the largest, but 39.5 millimeters hardly makes it oversized. It is wonderfully slim, 11.5 millimeters. It has a nice sloped conical bezel, so it easily slides underneath a tight sleeve or dress cuff. You'll also notice at 6 o'clock from this angle, the inlaid diamond signifying between the lugs that this is a Patek Philippe platinum timepiece. I think many will agree that this is the only appropriate application of diamonds in a men's watch, but again, tastes will differ. Now, from lug to lug, the watch is fairly large, but not overwhelming. It's more massive than broad. 47 millimeters from lug to lug. You can feel the heft of the watch on your wrist, but when you look at it, it seems to have character. It's stately. It has grace. It's not overbearing. It has gravitas without excess mass, but it does have immense heft on the wrist. It's the kind of timepiece that you always know is there. It's the kind of timepiece that has an outsized persona without outsized dimensions. And it's also paired with a beautifully traditional rectangular scale monotone stitch high gloss alligator leather strap. Now, this is a good match for the case, precisely because the case is polished and it forms a frame for a beautifully grained metallic dial that is anything but gloss. There's a tremendous contrast between the character and the contrast of these applied elements on the dial, the Dauphines at center, the platinum case, and the gloss strap. Now, the strap is beautifully made, again, very traditional, with almost no bolstering, just a little bit of a swell as it approaches the lug, soft calfskin on the bottom, and a very substantial filigree-style Calatrava cross single deployant platinum clasp. And of course, this being Patek Philippe, you are getting a platinum clasp with a platinum watch. So the nice thing about the clasp is when buckled, it does counterbalance the heft of the watch head. This is a watch that has a little bit of a quirky character to it in as much as it doesn't follow the conventions of most Patek Philippe perpetual calendars. The retrograde splitting the three elements, the leap year indicator at 12 o'clock, the day at 9 o'clock, and the month at 3 o'clock, it means that this watch is for someone who wants a complication that's a bit more dynamic and a bit offbeat, even by Patek Philippe standards. This watch is sort of in a class by itself. Now, of course, there's a gorgeous 122.7-year moon phase at 6 o'clock, anchoring the composition of subdials, and there's also a beautiful shock of red atop the retrograde date hand. The watch has immense color, but the star of this show is the honey brown dial. Now, honey brown is Patek Philippe's own nomenclature for what you're looking at. Some would say it's gold, some would say it's bronze, some might say tan. Officially, it's honey brown, and it has a gorgeous sunburst texture. Now, Patek Philippe was originally purchased by the Sterns in 1932. The Sterns' interest in Patek Philippe at the time was that they were dial manufacturers and Patek Philippe was an important client. And that tradition of incredible dial fabrication continues very much on this 5496P. And of course, the difference between this watch of 2014 and the 2011 original is that dial. Now, when you turn the watch over, you see this is a caliber 324, but with a couple of modifications. Now, it has center seconds, it has a retrograde function, it has a perpetual calendar function, and 30 joules automatic winding up to a 55-hour power reserve. It is the best Patek Philippe can offer, and not at an entry-level price either, as this particular watch originally retailed for about $110,000. You'll note the standard of finish. Like a Lango Unzuna, the company really has one standard of finish. It doesn't cut corners on watches below $200,000, escalating at $300,000, and then again at $400,000. You really get one standard of workmanship on a Patek Philippe movement, and when you pay more, you pay for complexity, which is why this 30 jewel movement on a watch priced at $110,000 features the same degree of art, the same degree of state-of-the-art craftsmanship that you would find on a watch approaching 7 figures. You'll also find modern technology in the form of ceramic rotor bearings, high-efficiency, unlubricated, sealed for life, as well as Patek Philippe's proprietary Spiromax or Silinvar silicone hairspring. Amagnetic, it gives this very traditionally crafted watch a very modern resistance to high magnetic flux density in wired-up home offices or in environments such as high-end sound systems, when you're sticking your wrist in between subwoofers, when you're exposing yourself to the wiring loom of your home computer setup, when you're at an office in a technical environment. This watch is ready for that. Now, it also features an older refinement in the free-sprung Gyromax style balance. Now, the Gyromax is essentially a system of free-sprung balance where you have the variable inertia nuts in the balance itself being turned to increase or decrease the polar moment, thus regulating the watch, and that form of regulation is very stable, being resistant to shock. You can also see the gorgeous Côte de Genève on the bridges, circular Côte de Genève on the rotor, and of course a tight and even perlage across the base plate. Beautiful anglage across the edges of all bridges, as well as screw heads polished and slots chamfered. This is excellent execution. And if the watch is a little bit quirky in its layout, make no mistake that it has a provenance and a pedigree second to absolutely none. You can see this Patek Philippe 5496P Perpetual Calendar Retrograde and purchase it on our website, watchyouwant.com.